Okay, so we're going to work on problem number 1, which is titled Swim Lessons. Let's go ahead and read the word problem. Stephanie is registering her son for swim lessons. There is a one-time $45 registration fee plus a $20 fee per lesson. Stephanie paid a total of $225. For how many lessons did Stephanie register? All right, so I'm going to come down here and I'm going to use the circle and I am going to circle all of my numbers because I want to be able to focus on them. Okay. Whoops. All right, there we go. So we have $45, $20, and $225. I'm going to underline any key words. So total of, that's a keyword. Per swim lesson, this is the fee per swim lesson, so that's gonna be the next kind of key phrase. And then the last one is a one-time $45 fee. So I have the one-time $45 registration fee, $20 per lesson, and a total of $225. I am then going to highlight what it is they're asking for. And I can stretch this so that way I know whether or not I have actually answered that question. Okay, so now when we go to our UPS check, the U stands for understand. We need to understand what the problem is asking for. We need to restate what it is they want us to do. So here, it's how many lessons did Stephanie register? So we're trying to find the number of lessons Stephanie paid for. That's what we're trying to find out. That's what we're trying to understand. Our plan, we need to plan and think about how to solve the problem, which strategies to use to solve the problem. So the strategy I'm going to use, I'm going to build an equation. That's the strategy I'm going to use. I have the 45 registration fee or one-time fee. I have the $20 per lesson. Whoops, it'd be helpful if I spell this correctly. Per lesson fee. And then I have, she paid $225 total paid. Okay, so each one of these tells me, something different. So for instance, I am going to sit here and see if I can actually go like, oh, that's not going to work. All right, we're just going to leave it the way it is. We're going to make it a little bit smaller so they all fit on the same line though. There we go. Okay, so each one tells me something different. This tells me the total amount. So whatever I have equals this amount. Okay, these two I have to add together to be able to get this amount, but I'm missing how many lessons were involved because I can't just add 45 and 20 to get 225. There has to be something in here that's missing. So X is my variable is going to equal the number of lessons. Okay, so this is what I need to figure out. So I have that one-time fee. I have $20 per lesson, but I don't know how many lessons. So the number of lessons I don't know. And I have my total. So that's how I would build that to solve for that. Now I need to actually write it out. So I have my one-time fee, which is $45, and I'm going to leave my dollar signs out of this to make it a little easier. I need to add that to the $20 per lesson, but I don't know how many lessons there are. But I'm going to multiply that by how many there are. And at this point, I don't know, so I'm going to use my variable of X. All of that together is going to equal the total of $225. That's how I know how to do this. Because I have that one-time fee, which means it's not going to happen again. It's just one time, so it's all by itself. The $20 per lesson fee is going to be multiplied by how many lessons, and I just don't know. So now I need to solve my equation. Remember, what I do to one side, I have to do to the other side of this equation. So I'm going to minus 45 because that's my inverse operation of the adding 45. On the other side of the equations, or the equal sign, I am also going to minus 45 or subtract 45. So that will then, just so you can see, we'll cancel this out right here. So now that's canceled. That is 0. And I have 20x equals, and then I have 225. Excuse me, as I get my calculator out because I actually didn't do this ahead of time. 225 minus 45 equals 180. All right, so now I need to divide 20 by 20, because right now this is multiplying. When your number is next to your variable, it's multiplication. So I need to actually divide this by 20 to get rid of that 20. So this 20 cancels out this 20, which leaves me with x equals, and then I have 180 divided by 20, and that's going to give me 9. Now, how do I know that that is correct? Because that would be 9 lessons is how much Stephanie paid for. But how do I know that's correct? Well, I'm going to plug this 9 in where this x is. So where there's an x, I'm going to plug in what I believe is my answer. So 45 plus 20 times 9 lessons equals $225. All right, so now we do our order of operations. I do multiplication first. So 45 plus, what's 20 times 9? 9 times 0 is 0. 9 times 2 is 18. So 180 equals, and I just bring everything else down. Then I do 45 added to 180, and that will give me $225 equals $225, and that is a correct statement. They do equal each other. So what I have found out here is that Stephanie, how many lessons did Stephanie register? Well, she registered for 9 lessons. That's how many lessons that Stephanie registered for. So 9 lessons, or we can do it like this. Stephanie registered for 9 lessons. Or you can say Stephanie paid for 9 lessons. However you'd like to go ahead and do that. Okay, and that is how you use the UPS check. You put what you're trying to find, you restate it, the number of lessons she paid for. You can say registered or Stephanie paid for. You can say paid, registered, paid. Either one is fine. Whoops. Either one is okay on here. So they're both all right. We built the equation because we had the one-time fee, the number of lessons. We're not sure how much it was per lesson, which is our unit rate. Then the x was how many lessons we had, and then the total amount. We went ahead and built that. We used our inverse operations to solve or isolate our variable and solve for it. We then did our check where we plugged in what we thought was the correct number. We plugged it in. We reran it through orders of operations, and we did find that it is correct. So we can say for a surety that Stephanie paid for 9 lessons.